The nanny state drives me nuts now. This is from the government that considered banning, outlawing smoking in pub gardens and outside football stadiums. Now a proposed ban on alcohol adverts. More nanny state claptrap from the Labourites. Bunch of interfering socialists who want to poke their noses into every aspect of our lives and boss us around. Under the guise of prevention, Philip, the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, deludes himself that banning booze commercials will somehow stop people drinking. In the real world, it won't even reduce the amount people drink. But Wes is a Labour politician, and Labour politicians are never happier than when they're stamping on simple pleasures, the killjoy fun police who just want to boss us around. So this is what he wants to do. I heard somebody on the TV say, oh, well, this is prevention, you see. It's the best way to keep the nation healthy, is to prevent illness, prevent disease. So of course we've got to get everybody to cut down on drinking. Well, banning booze adverts will be purely performative. No one is going to stop drinking because they don't see adverts. Nobody has a drink because they see something on the TV. They're going to have a drink anyway. We're grown-ups. We make those decisions. This is just the Labour Party, the Labour government, enjoying its power and enjoying what it does best, being mother government, being a nanny state, imposing themselves, sticking their nose into every aspect of our lives. So I just hope he doesn't go through with this, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it.
No, I mean, we've got a Labour government, for God's sake. Everyone's drinking like crazy, and I don't blame them.
That's right, they've turned us to drink, yeah.
The best thing they could do is just step down. It's about controlling people. It's about infantilizing people. And if you do that, they can't take responsibility. It's about removing the habit of responsibility. I'm thinking actually about, you know, they're desperate to put the burden of feeding people's children in schools on the taxpayer, aren't they? They call it free school meals. It's not free at all. But that again is divesting people of the most basic and fundamental responsibility of feeding your children. This in a way is a similar kind of thing, because it's divesting the responsibility of people for themselves, okay, and to at least try and be responsible for themselves. There's a few things here, Kev. It's really interesting, this. They're focusing on children and young people as well. They're not the problem, actually. If you're thinking about problem drinkers, it tends to be middle-aged people, and it tends to be older people, especially people who've retired and don't actually have a lot to do, and also older people who are really lonely. So rather than dealing with the effect, actually deal with the cause. Why are so many people living on their own? Why are so many people so miserable? What's happening in this country to make us like that? You know, deal with those things rather than just taking the little bit of joy that people have. My God, you know, and also kind of, as I say, stopping them from making decisions for themselves. This is just about control. This is just about...
It is, isn't it? Yeah, the point is...
It's what they do.
Look, this is apparently Wes Streeting wanting to focus on prevention rather than cure to improve the nation's health. He's talking about, as I say, advertising bans on booze. Now, that is just, in my view, the Labour Party being performative, just sort of showing us that they can control our lives, or they can try to. Now, the thing about drinking in this country, we like a drink. We know we're kind of famous for it, kind of notorious, if you like. The vast amount of people who drink responsibly. You know, what these politicians need to know is adults, sentient adults, should have the right to make their own decisions about what they drink, when they drink, and frankly, how much they drink. It isn't the government's business, just like it isn't their business what we can and cannot eat. Don't forget, they're bringing in, you know, they want to bring in more tax on sugar and fizzy drinks and God knows what. This is control, trying to monitor what we eat and drink, what we consume, allegedly, to prevent us getting ill. But it's not really. It's to control us. And in the end, socialists don't like people having fun. They don't like people enjoying themselves. So this is classic killjoy nanny state labourism from West Streeting, and I hope to hell it doesn't go through.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the thing about pubs as well, isn't there? And so many pubs shutting down and they're trying to stop us having a drink. But it's also about association and people getting together and chatting. Now you can't even chat in a pub without someone looking over your shoulder and telling the thought police about what you're saying, you know. So all of this stuff fits together, and it all comes back to this word that you've just said, I think, as well. It's about control. It's about controlling people. Pubs are the nation's, you know, front room, lounge. You know, that's where people get together and talk and be happy. And drink is, you know, traditionally it's part of our culture. It's, you know, it is part of who we are. There's nothing wrong with that. That's about socializing. That's about community. That's about people getting together. Once you start messing about with that, and also you're probably trying to appease communities that don't drink either. So there's something there as well. This is much more complicated than it actually looks on the surface. And it's actually a little bit sinister as well. I don't want to go too far down that road, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should be free to make our own decisions. We should be free to be responsible for ourselves, and it's up to us whether we want to drink or not. If you've got a problem, okay, fair enough, then deal with it. And there should be, the NHS should be there to help you deal with it, rather than wasting money on lots of DEI initiatives. So it's all linked, but you should be free to do what the hell you want if it's legal.
Exactly right. If it's legal, we should be able to consume anything we like. As I always say, if I, a halfway sentient adult, decide that I'm going to smoke 60 cigarettes a day, drink 12 pints of lager, and exist purely on fish and chips, that's my decision. And don't tell me, oh, well, what about the NHS? You know, you shouldn't be treated if you live like that. Well, I pay my taxes, so you treat me. My decision what I eat, not the government's, and we don't want to go down that road. We really don't.